Morning. Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Good morning, Sue. It was another work weekend around here. Trying to get our shed sorted out. Now I get to venture out to the hardware store for the things I forgot to get. Which is how it always goes, right? A project, although I have to say, I think we've gotten better at that, and maybe that's part of it's because, it is a bit of a production now to go places and get things. Oh, good morning, Dora. I didn't see you up there. So yeah, if you do want to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I would recommend during the week, because on the weekends there's a big long line of people waiting to get in there. So I've been ordering things and having them delivered and going on during the week if I have to, and basically just trying to be a little smarter about how I order things and organize things, which is tricky, right? But we're trying. But I think we're coming down the home stretch on this, which is good because I've lost interest in it already. It's just going on too long. And there are, such frustrating parts of it. But, I find your everyday things that you do are such good teachers. I mean, certainly coming to class and learning some of these techniques and also, learning like the ideas and the concepts of what we're trying to do here is great. But the real trick is, how do you apply those to the things that happen in your life? So I had spent a whole day building new doors for the shed, because the other ones were kind of warped and in bad shape, falling apart. So they were beautiful. They were just, like the Cadillac of doors. I really worked hard on them. And well, of course, I mean, you can see where this is going, right? So when we put them in, they did fit. Like I did get the measurements right, but one of them is warped, simply because I think the plywood is warped, or maybe even one of the boards. I mean, it happens, right? You don't always get the right board, and so it sticks out, like a little bit, and that was really bugging me. Like I was so mad about that and so frustrated, and you go to all this effort and just to have it not quite right. Hi, Carrie. Um, and again, you have to try to see, right? You see where this is coming, right? And it's understandable. You put in effort into something, you want it to be nice. And it's normal to feel that frustration, but you got to get past it, right? You've got to move on to the next thing, which is, okay, it's not perfect. So nothing is perfect. And in 6 months, it's going to be even more warped because it's a shed door. And that's kind of what happens with shed doors. So, figuring out how to live with that, how to work through that without letting it ruin your day. That's a yoga lesson right there. So find those opportunities in your day to teach yourself, and use the techniques to get you through the times when you're feeling like you want to just punch the shed in the face. or whatever structure you have you're trying to build and it's not working out. All right. So segueing from the shed to the next thing. I think so. We talked about the 8 limbs of yoga, and I think this is a great time to get started on that because we already did 2 of them. So the first 2 are the yamas and the niyamas, right? So um, just briefly, in case we have this sort of slipped our mind about what the yamas and niyamas are. Yamas are ahimsa, which is that nonviolence, satya, which is truthfulness, um, asteya, which is non-stealing or not taking things that don't belong to you. Brahmacharya is moderation, not going overboard with anything in particular, not getting going down that sort of rabbit hole. Um, and aparigraha, which is that idea of um, not wanting other people's things. So aparigraha is not the same thing as asteya, right? Asteya is the actual taking of something or taking responsibility for something that's not yours. Aparigraha is the idea, the feeling that might come before that we're also trying to kind of discard. And also that feeling of just wanting more and more and more. The, um, working, in part with that, working the contentedness, trying to be content with where we are and not always looking, what's that next thing that I want to get. Niyamas, saucha, which is cleanliness, santosha, which is contentment, right? So santosha is going to help you with the aparigraha. Okay? Tapas, which is that idea of willpower and working on building up that intensity and heat that we get when we are really focused on achieving something. And svadhyaya, which is study of our own self and also yoga philosophy or scriptures or any scriptures, right, that are meaningful to you, building on the internal life, spiritual life, um, whatever you want to characterize it as. And then Ishvara Pranadana, which is that kind of the final step where we turn everything over to God. We call it surrender to God or surrender to the divine. And, I mean, that's what it translates to. And we hate that word, though, don't we, right? The idea of surrender, because it seems like we're losing something. But it's almost, if you can think of surrender as giving in, giving, joining, right? So if you surrender your place out in the wilderness, you join the group. So you're not so much you're losing your loneliness, you're losing your solitary and unhappy feeling, and you're joining with the group. Um, and by that surrender, you are turning over your responsibility and, um, the credit. It goes to God. So we are trying to have, and this is something that we work on a lot with yoga, is we are a vessel. We are moving um, down our path, but we're also allowing the universe to work through us. We are the instrument, right? We are trying to um, bring this kindness, this good feeling to the people around us um, through, right, our connection to the divine. That's what's working through us. So surrender to that is not even so much as just acknowledging it, that it's there and that we're listening to it. We're listening to it. We are working that way. So it's a way to be connected. We don't feel alone. We don't feel like, oh my God, I got nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do here. We have this. We have this support. Um, so we, but that also, so it means it will help us achieve things, but we also need to acknowledge that. We can't be like, oh yeah, I did all that. I'm so awesome. You are so awesome through the grace of God. Um, and we all are. So that's a good thing. Um, okay, so Yamas, Niyamas. Third one, there are 8, right? I've got 8 fingers. We're gonna hit the 3, and then we'll work on the rest of them later. But we already did Yamas and Niyamas. Third one is Asana. Hey, that's easy. We know what that is, right? Asana is our poses, our physical movement. So we all know what that is. And um, the practice of asana helps us with all of those other things, right? So we can build tapas with the asana. We can work on svadhyaya with the asana, noticing how the asana affects our body and what happens to our mind and our body in the asana. Um, so asana is a tool for all of this. It helps us kind of move further down the road um, with our things. So they call these the branches or the limbs of yoga, and the idea being yoga is like a tree. If you can think of a big tree in the forest, those are the first 3 branches, and they're the lowest branches, right? And by low, I don't mean like that in a negative way. I mean they're the most reachable. We can start there. They are very clear. We understand how to do them, how to get there. There's nothing particularly difficult about that. I mean, they're not easy. It takes a lot of effort and concentration to do that, but it's almost everyone can comprehend what the deal is with that. You can just start. Um, the ones beyond that, some of them are a little more. You got to work. Just like a tree, you got to climb the lower branches to get to the top. You need to work on the lower branches before you're ready um, to move further up. If you want to move further up. Um, you don't really have to. I mean, you can kind of hang out in the middle of the tree also. You could build a tree house there and just stay there for a while, and that's fine. Um, so that's once you know these things, you pretty much know everything you need to know. Um, there's not a whole lot to yoga philosophy. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There are, some real concrete sort of goals and ideas, but it's a lifetime of effort. It's a lifetime of work. And as you move through, you'll find different meanings to all of these things. They will have more, um, they will mean different things to you at different stages of your life. And you will make adjustments accordingly. So that's one of the things I really love about yoga is it's very straightforward in many ways. Um, it's very practical. It's giving you practical, steps to follow to get to where you want to go. Um, and then it's up to you to kind of take that and run with it to wherever you want to go. Um, but there's nothing, and it's funny because I mean I think people think of yoga as very mystical and and I mean there are some sort of mysterious parts of it further down the line, but at the beginning, it's just very straightforward. We're just doing the poses, we're breathing, we're working the yamas and niyamas, and um, we just go from there. So, since we did that, let's do some asana, since that's our third limb for the day. I say that as if that's like some great surprise, right? Don't we always do asana, but why not? All right, so sitting up, relax the shoulders, take your breath here. I'm going to give you a preview. Tomorrow's is fourth limb is pranayama, which is the breath work. So we'll do a little of that, and we'll talk some more about that too. Just take a few moments to sit up, relax the shoulders. We're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One more breath. And then chin down toward the chest. Just let the head hang down. Moving your head around, make a big circle. One way and then the other. Back to center. Lean forward a little. And then we're moving around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat. Bring your arms wide. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, hands together. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the arms. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up, and then right hand by your side, reach across, stretching through that left side, and then switch. Come on back up, lift the shoulders, roll back. And then rolling forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit up tall, then take a twist. Back to center, switch. And back to center. Tabletop. Few sets of cat-cow. Just loosening up. Inhales and exhales. Finishing up the set you're on, and then we're going to sit back on the heels, child's pose. You bring the arms by your side, they're out in front. Moving back up, tabletop, downward dog. And you can kind of bend the knees. Walking your way up. Breathe. Rising up. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up to a flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Drop your knee. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Moving back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Just head and chest. And then lower. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower down. Once more, lifting up, head and chest. And lower. Then we're coming back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath here. And then stepping the right foot up. Left knee drops down, arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Step your back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting the arms on the inhale. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back with the left. Set your knee down. Arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Step back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower. Inhale, lift halfway. Lower. Inhale, lifting head and chest. And lower. Last one, lift head and chest. And you can always do upward dog here if you want. I'm not doing that today. And lower down. Then coming back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath. Then left foot steps up. Set down the right knee, arms overhead. And hands to the mat. Back foot steps up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're going to step back with the left. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. Hands to center. Take a breath here. And then we're going to turn the shoulders. So you could hook the elbow on the knee, or you could stay more upright, just pressing that hand against the knee. And then back to center. Right hand down by the foot. Left arm lifts. And then let's bring the right hand down. And it'll be more out towards the edge of the mat. And we're going to lift the right. Both hands down to the mat. You can walk them out a little bit. Coming into kind of a mini lizard, whatever you want that to be today. So, and if we're ever doing this, you can always move this into regular pigeon if you want to, scooting that foot over. If that's in your practice. If it's not, then I wouldn't recommend it. And then walk the hands back. We'll kind of wiggle this leg out so the leg is more or less straight, folding over. And then set the foot down. We're going to bring the hands up by the foot, step the back foot to meet the front, and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting high. Hands back by your side. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right. Set your knee down. Arms overhead. Hand to center. Take a breath. And then we're turning to the left. Same thing. Whatever you did on one side, we'll do on the other. Back to center. Left hand down by your foot. Right arm lifts. And then switch. So we've got the right hand out more toward the edge of the mat, lifting the left. Both hands down onto the mat and moving into whatever version of lizard you've got today. And walk the hands back, straightening out that left foot and folding over. Set the foot down, hands up by the foot, and then step with the back foot up to the front. Fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on the inhale. We're back to mountain. Take a breath. And let's do a couple of balance. We're just going to step out into warrior 3 to start. Hands to center. Take a breath. Stepping out with your left. Shifting the weight onto the left side. We're leaning forward, lifting that back leg. If you're leaning just a little, then you're lifting just a little, trying to keep that balance. Breathe. And then set the foot down and let's switch. Standing tall. Take a breath in and then we're stepping out with the right. And same thing, just on this side. See how everything feels today. And then bring the foot back down. Take a breath. And then we're just going to come up onto the balls of the feet, maybe not that high even. Maybe we just lift the heels. See how you're doing. That might be challenging enough. If you feel like you can go higher, you can. And you can always step back down and give it another shot if it's not working. And then set it back down, bicycle the legs. Come on up, top of the mat. Arms lift high overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back. Downward dog. On an inhale, we're coming forward to high plank and then lowering all the way down. Head turns right. Arms by your side. Head to center. Let's set up for Sphinx. So we're propping ourselves up on the elbows. Elbows are close, right underneath the shoulders. Palms pressing down in front of you. And then we're kind of pulling the shoulders back as we gaze ahead. Breathe. And then lowering down. Head turns to the left. Head back to center. And we're going to rest the palms on the mat. And then lifting up, head and chest, and the arms and the legs, everything together. and lower down. You bring the hands out in front and take a few breaths. And then moving back up. Tabletop downward dog. Step the feet up to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall. Deep breath. Fold forward. And then back up. Let's extend the legs out in front. Inhale, arms overhead, and folding forward on your exhale. Moving back up. Let's bring the legs wide. So we're sitting up tall. You could bring the arms out, down the legs, walk them out in front, whatever you want to do. Just moving forward. Going to the place where everything's getting tight. And then we're just going to hold here and breathe. Coming back up. Let's bring the feet closer. So maybe we're about the width of the mat apart. Right foot comes in. We're going to bring it right next to the thigh. Turn the body so you're facing the left leg. Arms overhead. Deep breath. Fold forward. And walk the hands back up. Let's switch sides. Same thing here, facing the right leg. Lift the arms high and fold. And if you need to have a little bend in this knee, that's fine, right? Sometimes hamstrings aren't that flexible. And having a slight bend helps you be able to get a little more of a fold without straining the hamstrings. Walk the hands back up, both legs out in front. Another fold. Deep inhale and exhale, folding forward. Coming back up. We're going to bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Make yourself comfortable. Make sure you've got some room behind you. We're going to lower, down. You can rock back also. However you want to get there. We'll be on our backs on the mat. And if your knees aren't bent, we're going to bend them, soles of the feet to the mat. Right ankle up on top of left knee. So we're doing our supine pigeon here. Maybe drawing that left thigh in. But if things are very tight, you may just stay with the foot on the floor. Press that right knee away from the body. And set the foot down. Switching sides, then we've got left ankle up on right knee. Either staying here to press that knee away or bringing the right thigh in closer to the body. Interlace the fingers behind the thigh, draw it in close. And then set both feet back down to the mat, getting ready for bridge. Heels come close to the body. Feet are about hip width apart, so not super wide. Hands by your side. We're going to press down, hands and feet. Start lifting up. If you want, you can interlace the fingers underneath. Kind of draw the shoulders under. And then lowering down again. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Relax and breathe. And then knees back to center. We're going to bring the right ankle up on top of the left knee again. Arms out to a T or goalpost arms. And then lowering that left knee down. The right foot is kind of going along for the ride, taking a twist. The rest of the body is, well, I should say the shoulders are pretty much resting on the mat if possible. If they come up a little, that's okay, but a lot of the rest of the body is going to be up. Moving back, switch. So you've got left ankle on top of the right knee, and then same thing, we're moving down toward the floor. And then back to center. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Rock side to side. And then hands by your side, extend the legs straight up into the air. And then lowering down. Both together or one at a time. And then once you're on the mat, finding a comfortable position. Getting ready for Shavasana. So keep the breath going. Allow your body to just relax onto the mat. Feel that support of the mat, of the floor underneath your body, and let everything just sink down. Notice if thoughts arise. Just notice that they're there and then watch them float away. Thoughts arise on their own. They only really take root if we give them our attention. So don't give them any attention. Just let them go. Focus on the breath. Inhales and exhales. Focus on the sensations in the body. Notice the places where your body is in contact with the mat. When you're ready, beginning to move again, fingers and toes, hands and feet. If you feel like stretching, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to make our way up to a seat and bring hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking time today for some yoga and for sharing it with me. I hope you have a really great Monday. Namaste. Thank you. Monday class is done. So enjoy. Feel good because you did your asana for the day. Think about your other limbs. See what you can do with them today. And I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday. Anybody have anything, questions or comments? You're welcome, Carrie. I think I'm going to work on my shed some more today. My gosh, such a beautiful day. I think it's supposed to be good all week. Maybe till like Thursday or so. I don't know. I'll take it. It's pretty good. But the sad thing is when you get this weather, I mean, it's not really sad, but you get this nice weather, there's really no excuse for hiding in the house. You got to get out and get the yard work done. Got to do all that stuff because in a week or so, it's going to be so hot. You're not going to want to. So got to do it. All right. So I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day.